Hi Chris!
Hello.
So we're back at it again. Second trip back to Christchurch. Not in that one.
Well, we didn't colour each other on the last one, so I suppose we might.
We're traveling on a BYD Atto 3 this year. We've just got this car, Jeff and I, and we wanted to compare how the journey would be like. Stay tuned. Starting at Chris's place with 99% battery charge and 466 kilometer range.
We're at Palmerston North, the square, about to wander off for 10 minutes around the Diwali celebration.
Yes, and we're here at the ChargeNet charger. Looks new, 75 kilowatts. Yeah, we're at 52%. We're just charging at Avalon Park, and these are chargers by Meridian, and there's quite a few here of DC chargers. And now we're at Christchurch at Marshlands BP doing another full charge so we can leave with a full tank when we do our return trip. The journey on the Atto 3 was a remarked difference to the Nissan Leaf. In this trip, we broke the journey down into 2 days, one way. So we were driving at a very comfortable pace. For a start, between Taupo and Christchurch, we had a total of 4 stops. In comparison, on the Nissan Leaf, we had to make 12 stops. And the number of stops increased on the journey back. It's because there's a very slight uphill going towards Taupo. The total charging duration for the Atto 3 was also a lot less, sitting at about 140 minutes going to Christchurch, and on the return 120 minutes. In comparison, the Leaf took about double the charging time at 280 minutes to Christchurch and a whopping 390 minutes on the return trip. That's because we tried to do the return journey all in a single day and the battery was overheating like crazy, so the charging rate just slowed right down. Now what's really interesting is the charging cost for the Atto 3 in total was also much less compared to the Nissan Leaf. The Atto 3 costed $147 compared to the Leaf, which was $230. Noting that I actually get to charge the Atto 3 at home before and after the journey. We saw a pricing structure change for the ChargeNet chargers. They used to have a time component in which it made it worse for the Leaf because of how slowly it charges. But now that the pricing structure has been changed to a flat rate per kilowatt hour, it seems to work out better overall, despite the higher per kilowatt hour charge. Since our journey last September, we noticed a dramatic increase in the number and availability of chargers, not just by ChargeNet, but there are also other players, including select BP and Z petrol stations. And also we noticed Zero by Meridian Energy. They each have slightly different charging structures, but they generally range between 69 and 80 cents per kilowatt hour charge. Zero came in the lowest at 40 cents per kilowatt hour, but I think it's only for a limited time because they want to promote their new charging locations. Relating to the availability of chargers, we were really stoked with the new EV chargers at petrol stations because they're really handy. The facilities for food and restrooms are already there. That makes it a lot more convenient in comparison to some of those charges that could be in quite remote locations. And then all you can do is just sit there and wait. Also, I think this is a small win for climate change. Due to the high proportion of renewable energy in the New Zealand grid, the carbon footprint for the entire journey, which is about 1,500 kilometers, was trivial, something like 60 kilograms. Comparing that to a return flight trip from Taupo and stopping over at Auckland, you will be looking at a carbon emission of around 220 kilograms per person for this journey alone, and therefore that would add to 440 kilograms for the two of us. Now, if the aircraft isn't full, then it's going to be more than the quoted figures. If we tried to do the same journey on a petrol car, an ICE, then a similar vehicle would be, for example, a Mazda CX-5, and that would cost in petrol $330, and it will have a carbon footprint of about 280 kilograms. So what I'm saying is, if you're doing a road trip in New Zealand, traveling in an Atto 3 is actually not a bad idea, because generally it's cheaper and you're also emitting much less in your carbon emission, and it is such a joy to drive. It's silent and it handles really well. You can overtake vehicles with no problems, and the list goes on. But basically, I'm a very happy customer, and I have no qualms about traveling in this vehicle on any long journey trips. I am planning a journey with Jeff all the way down to Queenstown and back sometime next year. That would be an interesting one to film. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.